Stewie.
It's the base. LOSO__G.
DK, the engineer.
It's your boy, letter after T, B4V. You go, boy.
It's the base.
Run down.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You guys want me to do the Wizards intro?
Nah, chill.
Oh, yes.
No, do it.
Yes,
do it.
do it.
Please do it. Please do it.
Oh, man.
All right.
Let me hear this.
All right. And now, your starting lineup. First up, at 5'11", hailing from Boston, Massachusetts, with a 42-inch vertical. Get ready for some amazing slams from Joe, the Jet, Bunce Grennan.
Woo!
Play my song, bro.
Quick updates. Boy, this first one's you.
Yeah, man. Coronavirus death toll in the U.S. eclipses 150,000.
It's getting crazy.
Over 4 million cases.
He's back.
So 1,400, over 1,400 recorded deaths on Wednesday. So basically, they're saying there's pretty much a death a minute in the U.S.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy.
I
U.S.
hope y'all
rates.
washing your
No,
hands.
yeah, we washing hands. We don't do that in America. But so U.S. rates number 6 in deaths per capita amongst the top 20 countries with the biggest outbreaks.
Son, isn't it like Texas is like the state with the highest number of deaths, and they're not even like the most densely populated state in the U.S. It's fucking embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
That
Texas
shit is
like,
definitely going further than 6 feet, son. That shit 6 feet ain't working for them. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Texas is like half of Europe. What the fuck are they doing, bro? Like,
COVID parties, dog. Any state?
No, literally.
They gotta be COVID parties and barbecue. That's all they're doing out there.
Yo, but honestly, it sounds like a broken record, but it's like,
yeah, man. Homicides are still up. I think between Sunday and Monday, within a 24-hour period, there were 8 murders in New York.
Damn. He's
Yeah.
catching bodies.
Yeah, and 4th of July, there were 9 people killed. So the crime rate is going crazy. Or not the crime rate, but the murder rate in particular.
Damn.
Niggas
be mad, bro.
Yeah, man. And Cuomo is suggesting that de Blasio's release of like Rikers inmates, I think something like 1,500 inmates early from Rikers is a part of it, because a lot of them have been arrested on gun charges.
And they probably
also like
killed one of the people that put him in jail.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very possible. Shoot,
but there's also a freeze on grand jury and court cases, so there's just like a whole backlog. So the criminal justice system is just kind of like on hold in the city, and Cuomo's blaming de Blasio, and it's a whole bunch of political nonsense. It's way too early to, in my opinion, it's way too early to know exactly why shit is happening. But
yo, are Cuomo and de Blasio always like beefing?
Always, always.
Son, you think de Blasio is gonna run for president too?
I know Cuomo is. I know Cuomo's definitely gonna run.
De Blasio has no political capital on the national level. He's done. He ran that experiment like this year, and no one gave a fuck.
Just like Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Just because you drop like X amount of millions or damn near billions.
600. Yeah, 600 million.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're like a competent politician. But then again, look at our president. So
yo.
No, you're about to go off.
Yeah, yo, this is open forum, Jetty. You can go off, dog. Feel free.
No, I was about to say fuck Rudy Gobert. I'm watching.
That's multitasking.
Fucking Rudy Gobert is responsible for the fucking murder rate. Fuck him.
This man Zion.
Segue God.
Son, these transitions are fucking hard, bro. Because honestly, nothing is really that good about this week. But I guess this is kind of like a weird win-lose situation in this one. This is another one of Ed Boy's topics. This is actually a very, very kind of weird story.
Yes. So basically, long story short, so there's a weird case in Oklahoma, right? So there was someone who was convicted of rape of a 4-year-old girl in Oklahoma some years back, right? So what he did is that he went to the Supreme Court and saying that him being in a state facility is incorrect because technically he got arrested on an Indian reservation, right? So he took it
to trying to play the system.
Well, here's what happened. So there's an old treaty basically dividing half of Oklahoma as an Indian reservation. He went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court on the 5-4 decision actually recognized the treaty. So he actually made like a huge like inroad. So now half of Oklahoma is Indian territory or Native American territory.
As it should be.
Which is interesting, which has like a lot of implications, which means like anyone who's Native American. So basically the way it works, if you're a Native American and you commit a crime in a Native American reservation, you can't be tried by the state. You have to be tried either if it's a minor crime by the Native American tribal court, or if it's a major crime, you get tried by the feds. So basically, you have all these cases that may be pushed to the feds. So it's crazy, man. And the implications are like if you're Native American in a Native American territory, you might not be subject to state taxes.
Right.
So it's interesting. It's really interesting. And I think the document was from like the 1800s. So the treaty is from the 1800s, and they're finally recognizing it in 2020.
I mean, the Native Americans, that's a whole struggle in itself, right? I mean, it's crazy because I've been watching, I fell in love with this show called Yellowstone with Kevin Costner recently. And it's so dope. It's out in Montana, right? It's basically like, it's like Montana meets The Sopranos, because you got these ranchers out there who are trying to like keep their land from being purchased by like city folk who just want to tear it down and turn it into like malls and airports and casinos and this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, at the same time, while this is happening, you got you have an entire Native American community out there that are trying to get their piece and preserve their piece of land that they were forced to be on during the Indian Removal Act, the Trail of Tears, and America's dark past. Yeah, and the stories that are going on in that show are very, very concurrent with that story that Ed mentioned just now of the Native Americans out there. Listen, they're trying to like fight two battles, right? They're still trying to get theirs, because being pushed on the reservations was supposed to be temporary. It was never supposed to be, you're just going to be there and that's that. No, you're going to be there until we figure out how to basically assimilate, give you your proper due. But it turned into, that's just one fight. The other fight is all the issues that are plaguing them with poverty and a wage gap, and the fact that crime, and healthcare and education, a lot of stuff that plagues the Black community and the Latino community and other non-white communities in America. So I think it's great that's going down in Oklahoma. Hopefully it sets a precedent, because my dream is that, and really the dream of a lot of like Black people, is that with these protests and with this racial awareness that's going on, that the Native Americans get their piece, that the Latinos get their piece, that the immigrants get their piece, that everybody non-white that's been fucked over, they start to get their comeuppance. You know what I mean? But, and I feel like it's a step in the right direction.
Well, what's funny about this is that it was like a guy who was convicted to 1,000-year sentence for.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's 1,000 years. Yeah, but no, it was crazy because it was like 1,000-year sentence. I was like, is this guy immortal? But it's funny. Oh, I wouldn't say it's funny, but this slick motherfucker was really trying to get out of his fucking thing by trying to find a loophole in the fucking system, saying, well, yeah, you technically aren't supposed to be the ones that are like I guess, punishing me because it's not your land. Which I think it's a good thing that, you know, I guess they honored that contract, and I hope it means something for everybody else that's been fucked over by the U.S. government, but probably won't.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I just think it's funny, like when you look at like why things change. A lot of things happen off these weird, obscure, like legal cases like this. Yeah. But yeah, he's not getting out of prison. He's gonna get Fed time. So like he just relocated himself. Like he didn't even argue whether he was guilty or not. He was just saying, oh, you know, I shouldn't have been tried by the state. He didn't mention anything about his guilt or innocence, which it's probably intentional. He probably would have been fucked if he brought that up. But that's just a very interesting case. What's more interesting is that no one's talking about it.
Yeah, of course.
That's weird as fuck. Like even people, like I was looking at comments in the internet, and like even people in Oklahoma aren't talking about it for some reason, which is like real weird. But I don't know.
If it bleeds, it leads, man. Isn't that what you always say?
Yeah, man. But I don't know. This case is interesting as fuck, man. I don't know.
I think it's interesting.
But we're on the topic of things that are kind of weird and don't make sense.
Segue God.
So tech leaders get grilled in congressional antitrust hearing. So you have your boy, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Tim Cook, Apple, Sundar Pichai, Google, and Jeff Bezos, Amazon. So they basically sat in front of a congressional committee while they basically, how do I say it without like being too biased about it? I don't know. From what I saw, they basically shitted on them for like a long time, basically saying that they engaged in monopolistic activities, basically buying out competitors. Mark Zuckerberg in particular, they were citing his personal emails, internal emails, saying that like specifically picking out like Instagram and WhatsApp as like specifics and how they need to buy them out. My mistake. So
I'm gonna say, well, I guess building out that this is kind of like not a new thing, but I think it's definitely still an important thing to consider, man. Because I worry about it because I'm involved in tech, and really how like these other companies with so much capital, because like tech is like everywhere right now. So clearly it's very, very profitable. They use a lot of tricks, to save money. So, but besides the point, they have a lot of money. And it's just like when these competitors come out or anything that's even competitive, it is 100% just easier to just buy them out. Yep. And yeah, we definitely see that with Facebook, right? Because I think when IG was coming out, everybody was like, oh, the Facebook killer, all these other companies always the Facebook killers. And what they do, they just bought them out and shit like that. It was just easier for them flat out to just do that as opposed to just compete. But I worry even more about it, like because like it not only happens there, but it also happens within the open source community, specifically like Microsoft, how they bought like GitHub and stuff like that, which is like the largest open source or like repository of just like code. And the big thing is that there's always this big question about like, or not only question, but worry about the influence that these companies have on open source software, because open source software is like used in everything. The backbone of all companies are built off open source software. And when they first came out, right, there was always that, like, they first try to crush them with marketing, like, oh, they profitable, whatever, the things are buggy, some legit excuses. But over time, the entire tech community grew and people figured out models to make that stuff profitable, and that was working fine. But the whole big thing is just like now these companies these organizations right now, money's in the picture. And even though they're open source or nonprofits, right, you have these big companies like Microsoft that put so much money, that donate so much money, that these smaller companies become dependent on it. So it's not even just from flat out buying. It's, they're influencing from the other end like that. So like, I mean, I worry a lot because it's like a lot of, I think about the state of like how software got to the way it is now, and I don't want it to kind of go backwards. I rely, at least on my end, on being able to use a lot of these tools and use them freely without worrying about it, right? Like not only for me to like develop and get better. But the idea, but also for me to be able to say build something and start, you know, my own company or our own company, because everything we're using right now, pretty much a lot of it is just open source software.
Well, I know a couple months ago, my girl BayOC, like she ripped Mark Zuckerberg a new one. I was just rewatching the video actually today because I was just like I was just trying to prepare myself for, you know, the subject matter of this topic, and she really took him to task with the fact that Facebook, they'll flag like alt-right white supremacist posts or like fake news posts or propaganda, but they don't take it down like YouTube. Like YouTube, YouTube kind of used to do the same thing. They would flag it, but they wouldn't take it down. You know, if you're seeing now YouTube, like especially for instance the pandemic, that was one, and the one that's been going around crazy this week as well with the Nigerian doctor saying that coronavirus came from demon semen or whatever crazy shit that
demon
was.
Semen.
Demon semen, yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, again, you see the difference in I guess the agendas again. And BayOC ripped into Zuckerberg. I loved every minute of it. It was so much gold. She was just like, listen, so let me get this straight. So you flag alt-right, racist, white supremacists, and you take their money as well if they're donors to Facebook, but you don't remove their content. You want to share your thoughts on that? He's just like, well, yeah, you know, we've got policies in place. Okay, you're not going to answer my question. Next question. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. That's my girl right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, man. It's like, so those four companies represent 20% of the S&P 500. So that means 20% of the value of the S&P 500 are just in those companies, which is like tremendous. And, you know, they do hold a lot of power over like public discourse, because like the main way that we communicate, that we debate, that we consume information is from whatchamacallit, is from, you know, Facebook, things of that nature. So
while we're on the topic of people stunting for the camera,
so we're all Mike Tyson fans here.
Yes, absolutely.
We are Mike Tyson stans.
Absolutely.
I'm a Roy Jones fan too.
Big fans.
Come on.
Big fans.
Okay.
Y'all must have forgot.
I'm a George Foreman fan. I like the grills.
Yo,
Roy Jones is gonna get poofed.
George Foreman's really winning.
He spoke on this. He spoke on this fight coming up. He's afraid of the well-being of both of these men.
All right.
So what's good? Like, how did this end up like popping up and shit like that? What Viagra did these two guys take?
No, so Roy Jones is basically, he's had his last fight like 2 years ago, so he's been fighting like pretty consistently. So basically Mike Tyson, you know, he put a bunch of social media posts over the months of him training, him getting back in shape, him hitting bags, pads, things like that. I don't know, it looks like he's on a test cycle or something, but but yeah, they're having an exhibition match in September 12th, supposedly. That's the date that they gave. So they're gonna have an 8-round exhibition fight. Eight round, and then on the undercard is going to be Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson.
Yeah,
I'm so hyped.
I mean, all right.
Yo, these guys are both gonna die, bro.
I mean, honestly,
let's do bets.
It's hard. I mean, it's an exhibition fight, right? And I mean, I don't know how hard they're gonna go. I think there might be times where they're a little bit competitive, but I really don't think they're gonna try to I think this is a money grab, bro. I don't really think they're gonna try to hurt each other. I highly doubt it.
But Mike Tyson has one button, and
Tyson has 2 fresh ears to get at.
I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy
ears.
that Mike Tyson's actually like doing something, because he did an interview like a couple months ago that had me like nervous about his well-being. Like I know y'all saw it, where he was like talking about how, you know, he's not that guy anymore. You know what I mean? It was mad like passion. He started crying during the interview. He's like, yo, man, like that killer, You know what I mean? That warrior. You're like I read the Art of War, and it's and I'm not that guy anymore, and I feel like a bitch, and I feel like he basically was saying that like he feels like his life has no meaning, and that was like some borderline suicidal shit. I was worried for my man's well-being. I'm glad he has something right now that is allowing him to get that out.
And
he was doing so well. Like Mike Tyson, he has his weed company, he has his podcast, he's making the media rounds. He was doing so well. I mean, I don't know, bro. I can't see them.
It's the pot, bro. Hard. That shit's got to his head.
He was born as a murderer, bro. He was born as a murderer.
And people are saying, so George Foreman is basically saying he's worried about their health, which makes sense if they actually really decide to fight. But I have a hard time envisioning that. And also, I don't know, like you said, placing bets, everyone's saying, oh, yeah, Mike Tyson's going to kill him, bro. I'm like, okay, like he hasn't fought since Kevin McBride and he lost to like a fat white dude when he was younger. What makes you think? What makes you think that he's gonna knock out Roy Jones Jr., whose last fight was 2 years ago? Like I think people are watching Mike Tyson highlights and just think he's just gonna win. But they also don't watch Roy Jones highlights. It's just weird.
The next fight night's gonna have the winner on the cover, bro. The next fight night's gonna make mad money. Watch.
Yeah, right.
Mike Tyson was never in fight night, right? He was never put in fight night.
Yeah, he was in the ones that we didn't play because I stopped at round 3.
I stopped at.
I mean, I only played round 3, but he was in the next ones. But
oh, boo!
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be a money grab. I think it'll be a fun little spectacle. I'm really I think the Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul will be more of a real fight. But I have my opinion on that. I'll let y'all talk. But
wait, I don't know who Jake Paul is.
He's some YouTube guy.
Oh,
he's like the famous YouTube guy. Like him and his brother fought some other dude, and it was one of the biggest draws in boxing history. Was it Logan Paul versus KSI? Like I didn't even know who those dudes were before like the fight, but like they pulled in bigger numbers than any other fight in history, or like one of the highest in history, which is crazy to me.
Shit, for real?
Yes.
Now they're professional.
I'm kind of with Ed Boy. I mean, Mike Tyson's last fight was in 2005. That was 15 years ago.
So let's split decision. Jose, you with me, right? Me and you versus them.
What I think is gonna happen is that they're both gonna punch each other with their signature moves at the same time, and then both fall on the ground, and then it's gonna count down from 10, and then that's gonna be the draw. And that's going to be the fight.
I think Shawn Michaels is going to come in and kick somebody. I think Stone Cold's going to come in and stun somebody. And then Hulk Hogan's going to come in and drop a leg drop.
Honestly, like if you really wanted to see them really fight each other, you should just make the fight 3 rounds. Just give it a 3-round fight and then just have them go at it. 8 rounds, bro. They're not gonna be fighting.
Just fucking who?
Listen, dude. Mike Tyson was just on AEW getting shoved by Chris Jericho. Okay. Like, what the hell are we talking about right now?
Yeah,
it's gonna I'm 1000% with Ed Boy. Like I'm hyped for the Nate Robinson fight because I don't know if Nate can actually fight. Like I know Nate is athletic. Nate is a former NBA player. Like Nate is, I'm pretty sure in great shape. He can jump really high.
not former. He plays. Well, he is former NBA. He plays for that Big 3 league.
And yeah, he's in the Big 3 as well.
Yeah.
But just because you play basketball doesn't mean you can fight. So
I mean,
I'm just saying,
bro. All right. Here's the thing. It does help. He's been a world-class athlete for a decade plus, right? So think about it. Even if Jake Paul knows how to fight, like you can't discount that athleticism. It's like I would take a guy who's been boxing for years, right? But maybe isn't like a world-class athlete, and I'll take a world-class fucking athlete, teach him a couple months worth of moves or whatever, and I guarantee you the world-class athlete's probably going to win. Like I'll be disappointed if Nate loses. Like,
No,
bro,
I'm with you on that. I know
I'll be highly disappointed.
It sounded very cynical because that's just how I am naturally. But I'm rooting for Nate Robinson, of course, for the culture. I don't want him to lose this freaking Cobra Kai Karate Kid blonde hair looking loser.
This Disney star.
Yeah, like
bro.
I'm not trying to have him lose to sweep the leg. Fuck out of here.
I don't know, bro. It would be tragic. It would be funny and tragic at the same time if he were to lose. I'm like, bro, you're a world class athlete. All you had to do is train just a little bit seriously. Even if you've never fought before in your life, bro. You're faster than him. You're stronger than him. You have a better gas tank than him, bro. You have no excuse. That's an easy win. That should be an easy win, in my opinion.
I just know the culture. The culture was really really happy with freaking Mayweather beating up Conor McGregor. That's for the culture. But then we have Deontay Wilder getting beat up by Fury, and we took another L. And the culture needs another W.
We took a big L. Big fucking L.
Deontay Wilder.
Damn, that sucks. Because I was actually rooting for Fury, bro.
That shit was embarrassing,
bro.
I was rooting for Fury, bro.
Wilder set us back like 150 years, fam.
Nah, I mean,
yeah, facts. Big facts. I did.
Yeah, we had the winner of the Netflix series me and Jose was watching come out and rap for him and shit.
Yeah.
He had a fucking Black Panther.
Yeah, but that's a part of the show. Like
he got beat up.
Yo.
But did anybody really did people seriously think that he's gonna beat Tyson Fury? Like, I didn't think he was. Like, the thing is like Deontay Wilder has to make so many adjustments to fight because like Tyson Fury is just a better fighter than him in every conceivable way, except that he's not maybe as strong of a puncher as Wilder, but like Wilder's just been getting by on his power for his whole career because he's just been fighting, people who he's either younger than or way stronger than. So,
well, they're gonna fight again, so we'll see how that goes too.
Oh, there's a rematch. Why?
There's a rematch. Of course, there's a rematch. Money, dog.
No, bro, make the real fight. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Come on, that's the real fucking fight.
I think that got booked too. That got booked.
Well,
too, if I'm not mistaken.
While we're on the topic of real fights.
Segue God. All right, I'll tee this up. So, as you guys know, sports is trying their best to try to make a comeback in the midst of a pandemic. Major League Baseball and the WNBA and the NBA as well. I think as of tonight, I believe, is making their return. And in Major League Baseball, there are a few teams that on opening day or opening night, as an entire team, they just took the knee. I know the Yankees, when they played the Nationals, everybody took a knee. I know when the Dodgers played I forget who the Dodgers were playing, but they have a very prominent black player, Mookie Betts. He was the only person on the team that took a knee, but then his teammates, Muncy and Bellinger, they put a hand on his back and showed their support. So in Major League Baseball, they're really trying to push the fact that, listen, we're all in this together. Yes, baseball is a predominantly white sport, but I think, and it might be a little bit of pandering. Who knows? That's always in play. But I'm happy to see that the protests, they're trying to ride the wave, knowing that, listen, yeah, there's a pandemic going on. There's obviously a lot of issues that we cover here on the base going on, but they're trying to show some type of unity. I think there was a video that Major League Baseball put out with a lot of former black players and current black players, basically saying, "Listen, this thing's bigger than baseball. This thing's bigger than sports.
Yeah,
we have to. We're all in this together." So I'm very very encouraged by by the protests there. WNBA is taking it a step further. They're dedicating this entire season to Breonna Taylor. Like they basically just came out. There are a couple teams that they're not even showing up for the anthem. Like they're just staying in the locker room. Whole teams are just staying in the locker room, or as the anthem's playing, they're just going to leave the court. They're going to do one or the other, as well as, like I said, dedicating this entire season to Breonna Taylor. And shout out to LeBron James. He cut his interview earlier this week short because he was like, "Listen, I know the season's about to restart. We're in a bubble." Basketball, sports, all that good stuff, but Breonna Taylor's killers are still out there. and we still need to talk about that.
Yes.
So shout out to LeBron James for that. LeBron's been woke, man. So shout out to him for that.
Yo, so how do y'all feel about, I guess, the white players just putting their hands on the shoulders as opposed to like kneeling with the players?
I don't think it's a big deal. I think people could just show their solidarity however they want. They don't have to do exactly what everyone else is doing. Like, they could do it however they want, because maybe somebody could feel some sort of allegiance or respect or deference to the flag, but still want to support it. I wouldn't police or judge how someone wants to show their solidarity. That's just me though.
I think it's dope because in a lot of these cases, you still got guys that are Trump supporters. Just because they're athletes doesn't mean they're not Trump supporters. That's in one respect. In another respect, some people, they still view taking a knee or sitting down or whatnot, they still view that as disrespectful, and they're still kind of missing the point of the knee and of the protest. And another group absolutely understands 1000% that the knee isn't about disrespect, because it never was about disrespect. It's about shedding light on police brutality and the unfair treatment of people of color in America. That's been the message, steadfast, that has been obviously a little bit convoluted through the media and through just crazy right wingers and Trump supporters and propagandists or whatever. But I'm with that. I don't think if you're not black, you don't have to take a knee if you don't want to. However, I definitely appreciate them showing that, listen, this is my brother. This isn't just my teammate. This is my brother. I'm not black, so I'm going to support him because he's going through stuff that I will never, ever understand because I'm not him and I'm not from his community. So, and I know for a fact Cody Bellinger and Max Muncy and a couple players on the Yankees as well, because Aaron Judge for the New York Yankees, he's black. He's the organization originally told him not to say anything, but he was just like, nah, bump that. I got to say something. Like, I'm one of the most popular players in the league. I'm a person of color. Hello, I'm 6'8". Like, everybody knows me. I got to say something. And he took a knee. And so did Aaron Hicks, and so did a lot of black players, because, this issue isn't going away anytime soon.
Completely unrelated, but you said everyone knows Aaron Judge. Did you ever see the segment? I forgot what show it was. Maybe it was Jimmy Kimmel.
It was Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, he was like interviewing people and asking like people about Aaron Judge, and no one realized it was Aaron Judge.
Okay, so
hilarious.
Okay, Jimmy Kimmel is shot out in LA. So if they would have shot that in New York,
no, it was shot in New York.
No way,
bro. They were in whatchamacallit?
Where? Chelsea?
They're in Bryant Park. They're in Bryant Park.
Of course, Bryant Park is gentrified, so I'm not trying to hear that shit.
But I mean, yeah, but no, bro. Like, you're 6'8". Like, people should. You know what it is? I think in general, baseball players just aren't recognizable like they used to be.
No, because it's not the most popular sport anymore.
Because I think like Derek Jeter.
They all look the same.
No, they don't.
They definitely
don't. But like
all Dominicans look alike.
Derek.
If you squint your eyes,
I just see brown. No, but I think Derek Jeter was like the last super recognizable dude in the league, where he was like a fucking, or like A-Rod Jeter, who were like celebrities,
Yeah. That's who like cross over to other sports, to other countries, to other like areas of the country. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. It's interesting because like when I was growing up, like MLB was the shit. Like in the 90s and early 2000s, fucking absolutely. Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays were good for a little bit. Mets had their little thing in 2000 Subway Series.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was middle.
People used to bug out for them shits.
Nah, big facts.
But not just to bring it back. I mean, I'm glad that it's better than nothing, because I think it's still, at the end, it doesn't matter whether you take a knee or you get up. Like, they're still making the same statement. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been nice if everybody just knelt, because I felt like that would have been a super strong statement. But I feel like at least this way, they kind of can avoid some of the some of the political backlash in a sense. Like they could at least avoid, I think, the typical political backlash, and kind of hopefully that'll focus more on the being supportive as opposed to, oh, he's taking a knee, it's disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what the NFL does when the NFL starts back up. I know that.
Yeah,
I know
but
that,
if they start off again.
Well, apparently they're planning to start off, but they're giving people opportunities to either opt out optionally, in which their contracts will technically carry over to the next year, and they get like $150,000 stipend or some shit, or you could do it due to medical reasons. I mean, I don't know, man. It might not start up, but if there's any league who's about money, who's gonna try to push it, it's the NFL, bro.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they might just be like, yo, fuck it. Like everyone gets Rona. Like we don't care.
That's what type of time they're on for sure.
We need Tom Brady. We need Tom Brady touchdowns. We need that airtime.
Out of all the leagues, I thought MLB would be the most racist, but I feel like NFL is the worst out of all of them, bro. Like it's so bad that they made a movie, and Chris Rock was like, "That nigga got nigga feet." Like it's such a. I was like, "Come on, son." Go ahead, JK.
Yeah, I was gonna say, out of like, because I see here they have a list of like voluntary opt-outs. Like, I don't really watch sports because I don't give a fuck. But are any of these people like a big deal? Or are any of these gonna be the type of person that like, them not playing, they'd have more, I guess, political power or influence for it to go their way. If that makes sense.
Some of these guys are good players, but they're not like Dante Hightower, things like that. Who else is there? Michael Pierce. Like they have some good players, but none of these guys are like celebrities outside of sports, or at least not from what I'm seeing. Like it's not like a Tom Brady or Cam Newton or somebody like that saying I'm not going to play, or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, if he's
bro. $200 million man.
500 million guy.
Oh yeah, $500 million man. Maybe we'll see, but like as of now,
I'm with Ed on this as well. I mean, I feel like it would be a domino effect. I felt like if like a Drew Brees or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson like sat out, you'd see a lot of guys follow suit. I think that but at the same time, I'm on both sides. I'm not mad at anybody that's opted out. People that are doing that, like the Twitter trolls and the idiots online who are like, "Yo, man, you're a coward," yada yada yada. What are you doing? Like, we need you, all this stuff. I mean, first and foremost, a lot of exactly.
Oh, you weirdo.
These weirdos, they crack me up, and it's like, a lot of these guys, they've got like newborns with like pre-existing conditions. They've got spouses with pre-existing conditions. They themselves have pre-existing conditions. So it's absolutely understandable. Like for instance, I'll give you a couple. Marquise Goodwin, wide receiver for the Eagles, his newborn baby died. I want to say a couple months ago, or I think last year.
I heard about
that.
Yeah.
And so him and his wife, they finally have a healthy child, no pre-existing conditions. And he's just like, yo, you know what?
I got a kid.
I'm not even gonna risk it. Like, so I'll just take the L. I'll take the stipend, and I'll see y'all in 2021. Another guy, Nate Solder, plays for the New York Giants. His infant child has cancer, and he himself has cancer. So he's just like, yo, bro, it's not worth the risk. Like, I'll take the stipend and I'll sit out. Because again, health is more important. I mean, if we're on board with teachers like taking like freaking sitting out for their well-being or whatnot, and these are educators, we should be on board with supporting these athletes as well. Like, because I see both sides of the coin, understanding that, listen, my job is my job, my career is my career, but my health, if I don't have health, I can't do my job. So what are we talking about here?
That's a fact. Fuck, man.
So do you think that it should just like, because like, so what do you think that, how would y'all feel about all around just saying like canceling all sports? I don't watch sports, so my life wouldn't change, but how would you feel? Because that would be like the safest option, no? So like, how would y'all feel about that? Because that would mean no sports for sports fans.
Everything but cheerleading. Because cheerleading isn't a sport.
That's racist.
Ebo, you supposed to piggyback on the. That was a callback.
There was a callback. I mean, whatever. I'll give you that one. It's a sport, but like,
y'all are terrible. Sexist, misogynist. the misogyny and mansplaining is off the charts this week.
Bro, it's not misogyny. Cheerleading has both men and women, and everyone in between. So,
okay.
I think you, sir, are the misogynist, sir.
To answer your question, DK, you like me don't give a fuck about sports, but I understand its impact to community. And Ugo needs a job, so I think.
Damn, yeah. 600. Come on.
Hey guys.
Hurry up.
That's not fair. That's not fair to Ugo, bro. Like, so I think I wouldn't be against them. I don't want them to close it down. Just kind of like, but everything is a spectator sport.
Yo, just have them play Madden. And have their characters.
They were doing that. They were doing that during quarantine.
Just have them play Madden.
Oh, for real?
They've been doing that during Madden. They had like
on Twitch.
I think it was on Twitch. It was on Twitch or one of those freaking social media news media sites, whatever. But there was a 2K tournament with NBA players. There was a Madden tournament with NFL players, and they were like doing updates on SportsCenter. I was cracking up. It was bullshit because it's not real, but it was still funny.
Yo, as long as UFC's going on, I'm happy.
Well, I mean, it's gonna keep going on because it's a business,
right? These jocks.
Me and my boy on my boy Rockin' on the Trick Shot podcast. We talked about this a couple weeks ago that all these major sports organizations, they've got contracts, they've got TV licensing contracts, multi-billion-dollar contracts that have to be honored some way, somehow. It's the same reason why wrestling, they're still doing shows in empty arenas or with limited capacity because WWE has the Fox deal and AEW's got the TNT deal with Time Warner. Like they signed on for some type of a product and they want Ted Turner wants his money's worth and the CEO of Fox, whatever that person's name is, they want their money's worth. So CBS, ABC, ESPN, Disney, who like owns everything, they want their money's worth. You know, they could give a fuck less about like who gets COVID or whatnot, which is sad to say, but it's true. They still want their product. Like, okay, I gave you X amount of dollars. I want to see blood.
Yeah. Contract is up in 2021, not 2020, my nigga. Do your job.
Do your job. That's where they're coming from.
We don't have field and dance.
I want my touchdown passes. I want my dunks, so forth.
I don't care if you call. Dunk right now. Don't care if you kneel. Dunk for me.
I just think I think every league should really adopt what soccer's doing, Major League Soccer, and what the NBA is doing with the bubble community, because and hockey too. Hockey, they basically put the entire league in the city of Edmonton in Canada, and they had 0 COVID cases like throughout this entire thing. I think they're about to restart like within the next few weeks or whatnot. They're about to just have a tournament to decide who gets the Stanley Cup. So it can work. Exactly. It can work. It's a little bit trickier with football because it's like 50-man rosters. So you wouldn't necessarily need a bubble community. You need like a bubble city. Like you'd have to rent out like freaking some obscure city in Kansas or Nebraska or somewhere.
Or just use eminent domain and kick everyone out of Green Bay and just have random players live in people's houses.
You could do that too. Listen, the NFL makes.
You know what they could?
Now go ahead.
I want to say that what they could probably actually really do is what China does with people's cell phones, and literally just like if they really were real super like OD about that shit with larger stuff. But I guess it works, you know. I guess with the smaller sports teams, I think that makes sense. I wonder what that would mean though, like in the future, like say, you know, COVID goes on like a year and a half or whatever, you know, just if
say life,
you know, if people would decide to just stay, you know what I mean? But whatever.
It's going on a year and a half, expected to.
It's definitely
gonna go on a while, man.
It's gonna. I foresee it going into the middle to the end of next year.
Yeah, the world.
Realistically, that's what.
Oh man, I take it today. We're all gonna die.
I'm gonna agree with you.
2021.
Spanish flu was like 2 years, and I don't think we're any better. So I'm gonna say around 2 years.
COVID is killing off all the stupid people.
152,000 and counting.
Well, sorry. Rest in peace to the people
that.
I brought in my family. But COVID is killing off all the stupid people.
And wasn't it didn't that black politician like get COVID? What's his name?
Die.
Herman
died,
Cain.
I think, right?
No, Herman Cain died. He used to run for he ran for president in the past. He's conservative politician, and it's news because he's known, but it's bigger news because he promoted not wearing masks. And
it's a hoax.
He died of coronavirus.
Because it's not real.
Well,
because it's not real, right?
Well,
yeah. I mean, it's sad. It's sad, and I wonder if it'll change some opinions, some anti-maskers. Probably not, but
probably not.
Facts.
It's unfortunate.
You just gotta drink some what is that? Hydrochloride? What is it called?
Hydrochloric acid.
No,
hydrochloric acid.
No, it's hydrochloroquine. No, hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine.
You gotta rub it into your
Hydroxycut.
You gotta rub it into your chest.
OxyClean.
Yeah, you get the OxyClean and the demon semen. And
you gotta rub it. You gotta rub it into your nose.
Oxygen.
No, you gotta find those guys. They made a machine that takes 99. Makes what is it? Those 99.9%.
The COVID killing machines out in Arizona. They gotta bring those back.
Crazy, bro. It was crazy.
The country of Madagascar, it was like months ago, but they made like a coronavirus vaccine. No, not a vaccine, or a tonic that you drink and it kills coronavirus. Clearly grifting, but they sold it to like other African countries. It's crazy. It's such like corrupt bullshit. Like they're just swapping money around. It is crazy, man. But
wow. And that's the base.
That's the base. Rundown. That's the rundown.